Hey everybody, welcome to Collector's Den.
Okay, everyone, we're going to try something a little different today. Steve and I were talking about different concepts. He came up with a great idea.
Yeah, I really wanted to try switching up a little bit and do something different, and like he said, we were discussing, and I thought it'd be a really fun idea to talk about different horror movies from different horror genres that we're big fans of and maybe some of you haven't seen. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to break down about 10 different horror genres, both give a recommendation for a movie, and we're going to talk about it. And hopefully, if you're new to horror or even a veteran, there might be something in here you haven't seen, and you'll have something great to watch coming up. And yeah, so here's our list of different horror genres, horror picks. Okay, our first genre today is going to be slasher movies. Now, slasher movies are probably our favorite of all the genres in this list.
Definitely.
And it's probably the one we saw the most of. And what we're going to do is take turns revealing what our choice for each genre is via the iPad. And Dennis here is going to go first.
My first choice is Halloween. I love this movie when it first came out. I thought the concept was great. The characters were spectacular. They're well thought out. I really enjoyed the fact too about Michael being a possessed child who, goes on the rampage, and then becomes like dormant for a long period of time, and then all of a sudden, bang, something kicks him off, and he goes crazy, and it's time to go home.
Oh, it's definitely true, and it's probably why I love the original over the Rob Zombie remake, just because the Rob Zombie remake gives too much reasons why he goes insane, because like his mother was a stripper, his stepfather was abusive, his sister was mean to him, he had bullies at school. It was way too much information, while in the original, he just a normal everyday kid, and just one day snaps, kills his sister, gets put into an insane asylum, and then was it 20 or 18 years later, something like that, he just snaps again and comes hunting after his baby sister.
Yeah, I feel that in reference to this, it was basically he becomes possessed as a child, goes and kills his sister, and then goes dormant, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, he pops up, and it's time to go back and kill the rest of the family.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
as
definitely.
Dr. Loomis says, he's pure evil.
Oh yeah, definitely. My choice.
So my choice, I went in a little bit of a different direction. I wanted to choose not one of the big main ones like Halloween or Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th, any of the big
Freddy.
name slashers.
Freddy.
Oh, don't forget Freddy. I was tempted to go with Scream because it's probably my favorite of the slasher movies, but I wanted to pick something a little different. I went with Behind the Mask, Rise of Leslie Vernon. Now, this one, even if you're a horror buff, may have not seen this one. This is a unique flick where it starts off as kind of like a documentary about a guy who wants to become a serial killer, Leslie Vernon, and it's a bunch of film students, and they're walking through his preparation, and spoiler, if you haven't seen this movie, skip to the next part. I'll put a little timestamp somewhere. But spoiler, the movie switches and it becomes a real horror movie. It goes from documentary style, like found footage style, to a real horror movie, and it shows you that he is a big name slasher, just like his idols, and he talks about all the time, is Mike Myers, Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees. So if you have not seen this is my choice, Behind the Mask, Rise of Leslie Vernon. Okay, our second genre today is going to be holiday horror. Now this is great for those who maybe it's late December and while everybody else is watching Charlie Brown or Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, you'd rather be home watching a killer snowman.
Yeah.
You didn't choose Jack Frost, by the way, did you?
No, I did not choose.
Okay. So let's start with Dennis again. What did you choose?
Well, my choice was Krampus, the 2015 movie.
It's a really good choice.
To me, it was a spectacular movie. It had a lot of twists, starting with he was created from the shadow of Saint Nick, which right away was really cool.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert in case anybody didn't know that. Second of all, which I found to be amazing, is that if the whole family has decided not to believe in Christmas anymore, that's when he shows up.
Yeah.
And then the final part was that he took all the fantastic things of Christmas and turned them evil.
Oh yeah, like the little gingerbread men or the evil toys. It's fantastic.
Fantastic. That's about all I can say on the movie, unless you have something you want to add.
One thing I want to add, what I love about this movie, well, let me do two things. First off, there's actually some really good performances. Even though it's people fighting off like a little elf or gingerbread men or toys. Adam Scott, he does a really good performance in there. All around, it's some really good acting. But really my favorite part of this movie is there's an animated sequence, which is kind of a backstory for one of the characters, where they talk about their experience when they were a little kid and when they encountered Krampus. Very, very well done. Very, very cool. It stands out and it brings out some really good flavor. Yeah. Okay, so my choice here, in case you didn't know by watching any of the other videos, is going to be Trick or Treat.
Oh, yeah. I figured you were going to pick that one.
This movie here is by far my favorite holiday horror movie. It's the perfect Halloween film. If you're in the mood for, trick-or-treating, following the laws of Halloween, this is a great movie. For those who haven't seen it, it's an anthology film. I think it's technically 5 stories where they're all kind of intertwined in the same town, and each one kind of revolves around not breaking one of the rules of Halloween. And our character, Sam here, makes appearances in most of them, and it's a very, 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 very cool movie.
Definitely. And like I said, I thought it was really exciting because the concept of the movie is based on 15 minutes of each person's life.
Yeah.
And how he fits in the puzzle, and like you said, one of them, doesn't put the things away too soon. That the yard, clean the yard. Another one about the candy. Another one about the cost. It was really, really well done.
So if you have not seen Trick or Treat, or it's just getting close to Halloween, and you have seen it, you should definitely watch it again or watch it for the first time. So our second choice, or my choice, is Trick or Treat.
Yeah.
Okay, our third genre here is going to be found footage. Now, this genre, I have to say that Blair Witch Project is probably the one that kind of kicked off the whole found footage genre.
Definitely.
And that one definitely scared the poop out of me. I think I was 14 or something like that when I saw it in theaters, and I did not sleep that night.
Yeah, and it was also a fact that, people were so wrapped up in it after seeing it at the film festival that they had to bring the actors and actresses out just to calm everybody down, because they really believed it.
That it was real. Yeah, it was very, very, very cool. And a lot of these are done cheaply and make a lot of money, so that's why there's actually a lot of movies out here.
Yeah, I think the Blair Witch, wasn't that like 500,000? They did the whole thing.
Yeah, it was really, really cheap, and they like made it like 100 times of whatever they spent, just because it cost them a camera and some people to go in the woods.
Right.
But yeah, so what did you choose?
Well, I went with the next one. I took Paranormal Activity.
Oh,
great movie. What I loved about this one so much is it played on all your fears. I mean, you got you're like doors creaking, footsteps in the night, voices you hear. You sometimes you feel like something touched you, and and all these. This covered all of those areas, and I thought that was what was spectacular about this, is that you got you could picture these things going on because it was just so frightening.
Oh yeah.
And to me, having the door you're seeing, and the doors moving back and forth for no reason, or the covers get pulled down, or you're suddenly dragged out of bed. These kind of things are frightening, and they're your like inner fears.
Oh, absolutely. That whole series of movies are all, I can't say all of them are fantastic. I'd say the majority of them are really good. I think they're worth at least a one-time watch. So I definitely agree with Paranormal Activity. I think the second one's my favorite. The fourth one, whoever that kid is, he was hilarious in it. I think he used to be like a Disney Channel actor or something, and then he got to
There
this.
you
And
go.
super funny.
Good choice.
But yeah, this whole, if you haven't seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I don't know, there's like 6 of them, something like that.
6 of them, yeah.
Yeah, I agree too. I recommend Paranormal Activity.
Oh yeah, this is definitely a plan on losing a little sleep after watching this one.
Oh yeah, my choice went in a little bit of a different direction. I went with The Visit by M. Night Shyamalan. I thought this was really, really cool. I'm a big M. Night fan in general. While some people don't like all his movies, I like majority of them. And this movie I thought was really cool, especially since it's a different kind of film than what he would normally do. Usually his is more sci-fi, thrillery, or drama, while this one is a horror movie. And it's about 2 kids who go to visit their grandparents they've never met before. And the daughter decides to film it so she can show it to her mom when she comes home and kind of see what her parents have been up to. And spoiler alert, but if you know M. Night Shyamalan, he's going to put a twist in there, and there is a really cool twist to this movie. And it's fun, it's creepy, it's got a lot of everything that I really, really enjoy, and I definitely recommend The Visit.
Yeah, that was definitely a good one.
I almost chose Unfriended just because I thought that was an interesting concete. If you haven't seen that movie too, it's a bunch of kids sitting at computers, and the whole movie's shot through like something like FaceTime, something like that, where they're all video chatting to each other, and the whole movie takes place in the program. It's very cool. But yet again, The Visit.
The Visit, definitely.
Okay, our next genre is body horror. Now, this is for those who really want to ratchet up that gore and they want to see it. Very, very, very cool genre. What did you decide to go with?
Well, mine, I went with Hellraiser.
Nice.
I mean, to me, Hellraiser was an unbelievable movie. I mean, like it says on the poster, it says, he's going to tear your soul apart. I thought that scene where the chains come out and they hook up to, and they tear them in a million different pieces.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, man, that was like, wow.
It's a very, very cool series. If you haven't seen the Hellraiser, I don't even know how many movies there are. There's a bunch of them. I definitely agree checking this out. The Cenobites are terrifying. The whole premise is really cool. Yeah, Hellraiser.
Definitely.
Especially Pinhead. He's terrifying too.
Yeah, he is, extremely.
Well,
him and his box.
Oh yeah, the puzzle cube. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I had a hard time deciding what I wanted to do with this one. There's a lot of cool gore movies, and I didn't know if I want to go with something that's just purely physically scary, or if it's just gross. But I decided to go with The Thing.
Yeah.
This is a fantastic movie. If you haven't seen John Carpenter's Thing, you got to see it. This is so cool. Even for a movie that's this old, which I don't even know how old it is now. It's got to be at least almost 40 years. It still holds up to today. The special effects in here are fantastic.
Oh yeah.
And there's a lot of cool scenes of people being transformed by this creature, The Thing. And for those who haven't seen it, it takes place, I think it's in Antarctica, but it's a research station with a crew of scientists and workers who are up there. And this unknown creature, The Thing, comes after them. And it's got a lot of cool transformations between the different forms this thing takes, because it changes forms throughout the whole entire movie.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't know if who is who, because it can take over a body and become them. So it's very, very suspenseful, very cool, a lot of gore. The Thing.
Yeah, what was really cool about it too is how they were trying to find out who was infected. So they were taking electricity to the blood, and it would suddenly transform.
Yeah.
That was a wild concept.
It's very, very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, our next genre is going to be sci-fi horror. And there's a lot of good movies in this genre. Mm-hmm. So let's see, what did you choose?
Well, my choice was basically the one that kicked it off for me was Aliens.
Wait, hold that thought. That's really, really funny because I chose Alien.
Alien, yeah. Uh-huh.
Sorry, so.
Yeah. To me, Alien to me was a real horror movie, where Aliens was the sci-fi part because they had all the sci-fi ships and everything like that. That's why I went with Aliens. I mean, I thought the whole takeoff with Aliens, and then we had Predators, and then we have Predators versus Aliens, and then the last one which I saw, which was Predators. Tremendous movies. I like the whole story saga there, and that to me was like a real sci-fi type of approach.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely a great movie. I always love those colonial marines coming in and battling the legions of aliens.
Definitely,
through.
definitely.
Cool. So like I said, what I chose was Alien. And really what I love about this movie is you have a crew, a ship crew who get an alien on board and they're stuck dealing with it. And this one monster is just going around hunting them and it's got so many great it's got a little bit of everything. It's got science fiction, it's got the monster movie feel, it's got that suspense, it's got everything. And it's definitely one of the best horror movies in all genres, even just one of the best sci-fi movies. If you have not seen it, I highly, highly recommend it.
Right.
The xenomorph is terrifying. The whole atmosphere, the face hugger, everything in that movie is oozing with fantasticness. It's amazing. And the whole series, Alien 3, Alien Covenant, if you like science fiction, if you like horror, check out this whole series. It is phenomenal.
Oh, it's tremendous. I love it. And I can't wait for them to come out with some more.
Oh, yeah.
To me, it was... this is the type of thing that they could do forever and never get, I mean, the one Predators, where you actually see them being dumped on this planet and they're trying to find out who's going to survive. And they just keep dumping more, and it's not just human beings versus predators. They have the aliens, they have the predator infected by the aliens, they have other different types of aliens, humans, everything. It was really, really, I love that concept. Who's going to survive? It was really excellent movie.
Yeah.
I mean, what got me hooked on these was as a kid, Forbidden Planet was based on the same type of thing.
Yeah.
It was the ship fighting this alien beast, type of thing. But this really took my my whole gamut and went, oh wow, this is great, this is spectacular, I love it.
I agree.
Yep.
Alien and aliens. Okay, our next genre is going to be comedy horror. When you're there for a laugh, you're there for a scream, and you want a nice mix of both. So what did you choose?
Well, my choice, showing my age, is the Abbott and Lou Costello Meet Frankenstein. To me, that was, for its time, it was scary, it was funny. I mean, Abbott and Lou Costello is a classic. They are the best. They do all kinds of great things. They did Meet the Mummy, Meet the Werewolf, vampires, all, Dracula, the whole bit. And they were hysterical. They were very, very funny in it. And that's my choice there.
I can't say I ever saw it, but I'm definitely going to have to at least watch it at some point.
Yeah, like I said, and I really want to show my age because I saw this in the movie theaters. Because they had Abbott and Lou Costello, they put this one on, and then they did, I believe it's He Met the Mummy was the other one, but I remember this one so well, and it was great.
Fantastic. My choice, I went with... Now this one's a hard one because there's another genre that I really, really enjoy, and there was a couple movies that I was going back and forth with, but I decided to go with Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. Now, what I really, really love about this movie is it takes the concept of a bunch of teenagers going camping in the woods, and they run into two hillbillies. However, the hillbillies are kind of the heroes of the story, and it's the teenagers who are kind of pestering them. It's a very, very fun movie. It pokes fun at the genre while I think doing it justice. It's a lot of laughs. I highly, highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Tucker and Dale vs. Evil.
Excellent.
Okay, our next genre is going to be psychological horror.
Oh, yeah.
The horror for those who want less monster and more depth to their horror. So what'd you go with?
Well, I took the overall, I think, spectacular movie, The Shining.
Choice. Very good choice.
Yep, The Shining. I mean, Jack Nicholson himself is spectacular. I can't think of a movie that he did that wasn't spectacular.
Oh,
But this one was unbelievable. Just the way it started off, just like a sweet vacation, and turned into a complete bizarre, where he ends up becoming the demon.
Oh yeah, his whole spiral into madness is a very, very cool thing.
Yeah.
I can't recommend this enough. Pretty much any of the Stephen King stuff is going to be great.
Right.
You can just do a Stephen King month marathon and just go every different night and watch a different Stephen King movie.
Oh, yeah.
And you won't miss a piece of, you won't have a bad movie.
No, not at all.
Shining's very, very cool. I went with something similar. I went with 1408. This movie here is very, very cool for those who haven't seen it. John Cusack, he's a writer who goes to different scary hotels and houses and scary locations, and he writes books about them. And what I think is very, very cool about this movie is he's never come across anything really scary, no supernatural stuff going on. It's always just, he kind of hypes it up in his books. And he goes to the Dolphin I think it's the Dolphin Hotel. And he spends the night there, and it's terrifying. This is a very, very cool movie. It's very deep, very, very scary. It's got a lot of cool visual effects. It's got great sound. It's overall a fantastic movie. If you want a psychological, scary movie, I can't recommend this enough. 1408.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, our next genre is supernatural. For those who want demons and ghosts and all kinds of spooky things that you can't explain, this is a great genre for you. What did you go with?
I'll tell you, this is the one I can only say really scared me the most, The Exorcist. I thought it was scary until I saw the uncut. The uncut was mind-blowing. Just from the religious point of view, and the trying to free this girl, this demon, all the different approaches and everything, and the things that were going on was like crazy. So that's my choice.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a great movie. This is like one of those horror movie ABCs. Like if you had to list like 50 movies of like these are the horror movies you have to see, The Exorcist is definitely on there. If not closer to the top. Very, very good choice.
Yeah, Linda Blair was spectacular. She did a great job,
Oh yeah, that's definitely not a role that most people could take. A possessed young little girl.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She had to definitely have some good acting chops for that.
Yeah, she did.
So I went with something a little more modern, but similar kind of idea. The Conjuring. This is a very, very cool series. We've talked about it before because we had the Annabelle doll on and other things. What I love about this is it takes something real. It takes the supernatural hunters, the couple in the movie who are real people, and takes one of their stories and kind of, I'm assuming, hopefully hypes it up, because if this is truly real, I don't want to be around anywhere near it.
No, me neither.
But it takes two people trying to get rid of a possessed, in this case I think it's a house, but it's a family too. It's the spoilers, I don't remember, I think it's the daughter, but very, very cool series. Mm-hmm. It's got demon possession. It's got some jump scares. It's got a lot of cool things going on. And then after you watch this, you can go on and watch The Conjuring 2, watch the Annabelle series, watch all this stuff. You can go and watch documentaries about the real family. They're the real demon hunters, the real supernatural pair. Very, very cool stuff. I can't recommend it enough.
Yes. Excellent.
Okay, our next genre is going to be teen horror. Now, these are all those horror movies usually revolving around either teenagers or young 20-year-olds, or just movies marketed towards teenagers and young 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
What did you go with?
Well, there's so many out there to pick from. I mean, the one that I think I enjoyed very, very much was Pumpkinhead. Pumpkinhead was one of those movies where you feel sorry first for the guy when his son gets run over by the kid on the motorcycle, and then it switches on you and you go, oh my God, you feel terrible for the teens because the father went and made a deal with the devil and gets the pumpkin head, and the creature comes and starts chasing these kids down and killing them and all. really, really, really great.
Oh yeah.
And then, it's like it just kept switching back and forth. You didn't. By the time you got done, you couldn't figure out who the bad guy was. I mean, for me, I thought at one point it was just the witch. She just decided that, oh boy, we're gonna get Pumpkinhead out again and let him terrorize the neighborhood.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a very, very good movie and very good series.
Yep.
I went with, yet again, another more modern fic. I went with It Follows. This is a very, very cool movie. A couple things I really like about it, if you haven't seen it, is it's got really cool sound. They went for that 80s synth sound and made this very cool soundtrack. And the soundtrack alone just kind of helps carry the movie. The idea of it is there's this supernatural force that constantly never stops and hunts down one specific person. And that person can pass that on to another person, and then they become cursed, and it follows them. That's it follows. It's got a lot going on. It's definitely it's an indie movie, but it's got a lot of character. It's got a lot of heart. And one thing that's kind of cool is it's hard to tell what time period it is, because sometimes it looks like it could be like the 70s, sometimes it looks like it could be the 80s, sometimes it looks like it could be a little futuristic. It's a very, very cool movie. I can't recommend it enough. It Follows. Okay, our next genre is Gothic Horror. For those who want a little bit more of a tragic story, Gothic Horror is right up your alley. What did you go with?
Well, my choice is Nosferatu. I mean, to me, he was the start of the vampire saga. The book behind it was spectacular. It's an old movie. I think in 1922 it came out, black and white, and I think it's great even till today. I mean, they did a remake on it, which was Salem's Lot.
Oh, okay.
The same thing. They brought back Nosferatu again. So, to me, it was spectacular only because of the fact that I was very, very young at that time, and yes, I did see it in the movie theaters. It was the two-part. It was that and Dracula, so it was cool. Really, really cool choices. But this was one of those type of movies that, even though it was black and white and all, it still gave you some nightmares as a child.
Very, very cool.
Yep.
I went with a little bit of different choice. I went with The Orphanage.
Yes.
It's Guillermo del Toro. He's the executive producer of this movie. He does a lot of cool stuff like Pan's Labyrinth and the Hellboy series and some other cool stuff. This movie is very, very cool. If you haven't seen it, it's in Spanish. So if you speak Spanish, you're one up on me. I had to watch it with subtitles. But it's very, very cool. It's about a girl, a woman who was an orphan when she was a kid, takes her family and buys an old rundown orphanage, and they move into it, and some spooky stuff happens. You can tell by the picture of the background there. There's some ghost children. Very, very well done story. It's tragic. It's got a lot of heart, a lot of drama. This has actually got a lot more substance than most horror movies you might see. Where you watch Friday the 13th, you're just watching a guy slashing people. This one's got depth. So my choice is The Orphanage. Okay, our last genre of the day is going to be zombies. And if you watched other of our mask vlogs, you will know we've talked about different zombie movies we like. But today, we got to narrow it down to one each. What did you go with?
Well, I picked this one only because I met Tom Savini, and he told me about it, and I watched it, and I went with Night of the Living Dead. To me, that was like the start of the zombie apocalypse,
Absolutely.
Which, if you read the slogan they have, they said, when it gets too crowded in hell, the dead will walk amongst us. So I think that this movie was tremendous. The effects even till today, are great. The people that were in it were spectacular, and they're trying. In fact, even Chiller copied a part of it where the zombies are breaking into the house, and Chiller at the end.
Thriller.
Thriller. I'm sorry, Chiller. I'm sorry, Thriller. Yeah, wrong heading. All right, but to me, it was spectacular movie.
Oh yeah, if you're a zombie fan, you want to see the grandfather of all zombie movies, you got to go with that one.
Yeah, definitely.
This one was a hard one for me. It took me a while to narrow down which of the two I wanted to choose. I was going to go with Shaun of the Dead because I'm a huge Simon Pegg, Nick Frost fans, and I love that movie. I love the whole, I think it's called Blood and Guts or Blood and Guns trilogy. I can't remember what it is. But I had to go with 28 Days Later. This movie here is what I want in a horror movie. It's scary, it's got action, it's got drama, it's intense, it's got a great soundtrack. You get these, unlike our other movie we got these slow kind of walking zombies, you have these ones who are like freaks running around and they're all crazed. It's scary. And like the movie says, 28 Days Later, it starts off with a guy who wakes up from I think it was a coma, 28 days later, and a zombie apocalypse happened while he was out. And it's just his story, and it follows him going through all this crazy stuff with all these zombies running around. Very, very cool movie. I can't recommend it enough. But if you want something a little bit more lighthearted, a little bit more comedy, go with Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
Either are a great choice. If not, actually watch both of them. If you're trying to scratch that, watch both of them. No matter what, watch both of them.
Definitely.
All right, so those were our horror recommendations. I hope you found something new to watch. Please leave us a comment below. Let us know if you want to see more of these kinds of videos. Let us know what movie that maybe you haven't seen, so now you're going to watch. Or if you have a different recommendation, maybe something that we haven't seen, or maybe something some of our viewers might want to see. So leave that comment below and like this video.
Also, on a side note, I'm going to be in the Allentown, Pennsylvania area this weekend at a show called the Horror Sideshow Market. Tremendous show. Come on down. They're going to have some guests there. There's going to be tons of dealers there, vendors they call them, selling different types of products and all. We'll put the information down below. If you get a chance, come on by, say hi.
And if you like this video, again, like it, hit the bell, leave us a comment, and we'll see you next time.